Muy buenos días, amigos. Buenas tardes. Espero que el día vaya super bien. I hope that your day is going very well. In our story, as you know, we build a number of verbs into those stories. And right now, starting off the year, we're dealing mainly in the present tense. But because we build stories about maybe just a he or she or they, we mostly, in the stories, just see those two different forms. He, she does this, they do this, maybe a we do this, right? I just want to be able to show you all the forms of our verbs. And so first we need to review that there are 3 different kinds of verbs in Spanish language. Only 3. They will all either in their what we call infinitive form, their basic form, they will all either end in AR, ER, or IR. So for this video, I just want to quickly show you what are all the forms for who's doing those verbs, what do we do to change them to say different people are doing them. And so it looks like this when we change those verbs. Okay, so amigos, when we take any of these verbs ending in either AR, ER, or IR, and we want to change them for who's doing it, if they are just regular present tense verbs, we just simply have to take off our AR and plug in an O. Yo tomo, yo tomo, tú tomas, tú tomas, él, ella, o usted, polite form of you, toma. Nosotros tomamos. Ellos, ellas, or ustedes toman, right? So we just take off our AR, add whatever ending it is for the person that's doing that. If it's an ER verb, notice they are very similar, right? Very similar, but they just keep the E of the ER verb, o es, hemos, es, and en. And then notice the IR is so similar to ER, and the only difference is in these two forms, it keeps the I in those two forms, but the rest are identical to the ER verbs. So very similar. So you notice we get in this pattern, and you guys are getting used to from our stories, seeing that if it's a he or she, it ends in a vowel, right? A or E. But I want you to be able to see the whole thing of who's doing it and how we change that verb for whoever's doing it in the present tense. Okay? So there we have all of our conjugations of all just present tense regular verbs. So now what I would like to do is give you a couple examples of statements that we have in our story and show you if we were going to change the person who's doing them, what it might look like. Okay, so let's take one that comes from our first story, which is we are talking about he or she, él or ella. So we'll just say él está contenta. Sorry, we said él, not ella. Él está contento. In our story, we said él está contento, right? He is happy or content. Okay? So, él está contento. Another example would be when we had su papá toma el martillo. Su papá toma el martillo. Él está contento. So in our story we did it this way. Su papá toma el martillo. Él está contento. Right? So those are two statements taken directly from our story. So what would happen if we change the people here? All right? So what, for example, would happen if we said, instead of él está contento, we said, nosotros estamos contentos. There we have nosotros estamos. So we've changed our verb from está to estamos because we are now happy. But notice, not only did I change está to estamos, because we're now talking about more than one person, I also had to change my adjective to say contentos and add my S there. Okay? But then what happens if, for example, we say, yo estoy contento. Now we have changed it to I am happy. Yo, and I have to change my verb again to estoy. I've also changed the adjective back to contento, singular, because I'm just one person. Okay? Then let's try one more. What if I said, ellos están contentos. There we have ellos están contentos. Changing my person again. Need to change my verb to están. And then now I've had to change my adjective back to an S because ellos is plural. Let's look at a couple examples of this one with just a regular AR verb. So, su papá toma el martillo. But what happens if we say nosotros? Nosotros. There we have nosotros, we, and we've had to change our verb to tomamos. Nosotros tomamos el martillo. Nosotros tomamos el martillo. Right? And let's try it one more time. What if we change to tú tomas el martillo? Tú tomas el martillo. I've changed the subject again to tú. Now I have to change my verb again to end in an S. And as you will get used to, any verb, regular verb, when we're talking to directly somebody that you know in the to form, that verb is always going to end in an S. Remember, across our three types of verbs, that to form was as, es, o es. They're all going to end in that S. Okay? So there's just a brief recap of all verbs in the present tense, all regular verbs in the present tense, showing what they do for each person who does them. And so that will help you, hopefully help you just make connections. And when we ask and answer questions in class, then kind of just a reminder of how we change those verbs when we're talking about different people. Okay? Excelente, muy buenos, muy bien amigos, y nos vemos en clase.